May 10th, 2022. As a reminder, this is a public meeting and is being recorded. And for those who are calling in, please ensure that you have muted your phone by pressing *6. Thank you. And first, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Boyce.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We would like to take a moment and recognize May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Our country first granted this designation in 1978 to honor the culture and traditions of Asian and Pacific Islander Americans and celebrate the ways they have enriched our history and our current moment. This Heritage Month encompasses many diverse cultures, including people hailing from the many nations that make up the Asian continent, the Hawaiian Islands, Samoa, and New Guinea, to name just a few. The millions of Americans who identify as Asian and Pacific Islander are our friends and family members. They are integral members of our community, and we look forward to honoring them this month and encourage you to join us. We also have to honor and once again welcome national champions from the Ohio State University. We recognized the women's hockey team in March, and our friend Linda Logan from Experience Columbus is back with us today to highlight national champions from synchronized swimming team, the pistol team, and fencer, who is now a national champion. Linda, I understand that you will be starting with the synchronized swimming team. Is that correct?
Yes, we can. All right, that sounds great. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
On behalf of the Greater Columbus Sports Commission and Experience Columbus, so proud to be here representing the efforts of the great student athletes and coaches in our community that have won national championships. How exciting for us. In some cases, I know we had one here in our own backyard, and then others that happened around the country. So very happy to have Holly Vargo Brown with us. And Coach, if you could give us a little description of your season. I know this was a big milestone, and then also introduce your student athlete that's with you today.
Of course. Thank you everyone for having us today. As Linda said, we were able to, this great city of Columbus was able to help us host the championship this past March, where we were fortunate enough to put things in the right place to win our 33rd national championship. After 2 years of COVID struggles and a championship being canceled 2 years ago, it was really great to be able to bring that title home to Columbus with this specific group of athletes. Today, I have our senior captain, Rachel Jagger, who has been through it all and can share just a little bit more about our season.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Rachel Jagger, as my coach has said. This season was pretty incredible. After the past couple of years, it was pretty tough on everyone, as everyone knows, but the team has been through a lot, and this year there's just a lot of fire under everyone. So we just were pretty hungry to get in there and practice every day, and they made my job as a captain pretty easy this year. So it was pretty inspiring and motivating to see what the team was capable of and pushing themselves. So this year was pretty incredible.
Well, thank you all and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
If I could, Madam President, may I?
Absolutely.
I just want to say congratulations to our Ohio State Buckeyes for not only winning the championship, but representing Central Ohio well. We just value and appreciate what you do, and more importantly, remember that what you learned in your sport, in your competition, is something that really applies in your professional life as you matriculate into other things down the road. So congratulations to the entire team and to the Ohio State Buckeye family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So this is fun for me this morning. I am kind of blessed and fortunate enough to know Coach Vargo Brown from a past life, and so have gotten to see her win other national championships as well. She's got a dynasty there, This is, as she said, her 33rd, but this is what, your 8th or 9th now, Coach?
Gosh, you know what, Commissioner, I'm not really sure. I've been here for a while, and the tradition of excellence never gets old. So I've stopped counting, but thank you for pointing that out.
When you can't count them, you know it's a dynasty. So, and these, and unlike the University of Alabama, who claims their own national titles back when nobody else was claiming them, you guys have all these legit national titles. You also have, and Rachel's sitting there with you. Rachel, where are you from?
I'm from Buffalo, New York.
You're from Buffalo. I noticed when I looked at the website, you also have a team that is made up of not just national recruits but international recruits. You have teammates, Rachel, from all over the country, all over the globe, right?
Yep, I do.
Yeah.
Some from Canada.
I think, didn't I see one from Italy as well?
Yep. That would be.
So, I mean, what an impressive program. And I know that we have other Buckeye teams on here today, but I got, Holly and I have known each other. Our daughters played ball together, years ago. And so we spent a lot of time sitting in all kinds of crazy weather, watching our kids play ball, and now they're adults. So, but I just ran into her in a grocery store a couple of weeks ago. So it was good to see you then. Good to see you this morning. Congratulations on another national championship for the Buckeyes.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Phenomenal job, ladies. Thank you for being with us this morning. And Linda, I understand that you have the pistol team next.
Yes, Emil is here. I'll have him introduce Henry and tell us about their season and this great championship.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Emil Milev, head coach of the pistol team at Ohio State for the last 5 years. So far, we won 3 national championships. We missed one due to COVID, but this season specifically was going in the right track. We were undefeated the whole season, and what I'm most proud of the team really was they were not backing off. They were working hard, and as the season progressed, they were ramping up practice, investing more time on the range. And Henry is really probably the right example, because he on top of winning 2 of the events and the overall individual national title, he also won junior world championship in an event that is not collegiate. So Henry, please share your words with everybody.
Sure thing. Thanks, everyone. My name is Henry Leverett. I'm a sophomore at OSU. And yeah, just like Coach said, it's been an amazing season. I'm super proud of all my teammates and super thankful for both my coaches. It's been an amazing year, especially after COVID. It's been nice to start traveling again and just really getting out there and being able to compete all over the U.S. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. I'll open it up to my colleagues if they have any comments, but look forward to seeing your name in the future in sports. So
The only thing I'll add is, again, I just remember the things that you learn in competition are very much a transfer in the professional world, and hard work, a focus, a follow through, a commitment, all of those things will make you a great professional and, even more importantly, a great leader. So congratulations, and thank you for representing us well.
Sure, thank you.
Henry, is Jack your twin brother?
He is about 1.5 years older.
He's just your brother. Yeah, I got you.
Yes, sir.
Well, it must be fun competing with your brother on your team.
Oh, definitely. It was nice as well because he also competed with me alongside me in Tokyo in the Olympics. So it was really special having him around to support each other throughout this whole journey.
Fantastic.
wow, that's unbelievable. Congratulations again. Next, I know, Linda, I think you have a fencer that you're going to introduce, and that's a
Yes,
freshman.
and we have Coach Don Anthony here representing Gabriel Feinberg, who won the national championship in FA. But I'll have Coach mention it. I know he also has Kasha on this meeting as well.
Thank you, Linda, and thank you, County Commissioners, for recognizing all of the Buckeyes. We have had a long relationship with the county. I see a lot of familiar faces here, and we thank you for all the support over the years. This season, we had individual national champion, Gabe Feinberg, Kasha Dubrova, who is also a national champion in her own right from the Buckeyes in 2012, individual and team. His coach. She's been to the national NCAA championships twice and has 2 individual national titles to her record. So I'll turn it over to Kasha to talk a little bit about working with Gabe and winning another title this year.
Thank you, Don. Yeah, so it's for me personally, like Don mentioned it, for me, it's very exciting to have 2 consecutive national champions going, into my 4th season, but only the 2nd season that we were able to compete at the NCAA national championships. I think, transitioning from being an athlete to being a coach, I'm just discovering the joy now of, once you win, obviously winning is a big part of why we do sports, but once you're able to work with someone and train them to be national champions, it's a unbelievable feeling for coaches. One, I think for athletes and especially for Gabe, he is a freshman, so he went into it not knowing what how this is going to play out and what's going to happen, and he owned it. He really worked very hard on the entire year, and then it showed in the national championship title. So, and just because he's just a freshman, so he has another 3 years to show that he can reach for the title many years to come. It's just incredible, and I really look forward to working with him and with the entire team. We're working hard to create a great, or to keep the great program going, and then we're looking forward to many more titles in the future.
Thank you. Gabe's not able to join us today, correct?
He's been having some technical issues, it looks like.
Well,
Yeah, he's trying.
Is he here? Okay. Well, give him our congratulations.
We will. Thank you so much, Linda.
We will. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, County Commissioner.
Thank
Well,
you. Go ahead.
as Commissioner Boyce, reminds everyone, how the lessons that you learn as a part of the team, and the lessons that you learn as competitors will transition to your careers. The one thing I always like to remind athletes is, this is a fantastic time in your life. This is a time that you should take advantage of. This is a time that you should certainly remember and cherish. But don't forget to thank all of those who have helped you along the way, to help you get where you are as national champions. But also, don't let this be the highlight of your life. Don't let being a national champion be the biggest thing that you ever achieve in your life. This should be a springboard to greater accomplishments throughout your career, throughout the remainder of your days. You don't want to end up, at our place in life, another 20, 30, 40 years down the road. In my case, almost maybe, 35 years down the road from where you are, and have your national championship be the biggest thing that you've accomplished in your life. You want this national championship to be something that catapults you to greater achievement in life. If you are, in your mid to late 50s or in your 60s, and the biggest thing you've ever done is win this national title, then you'll just be another cliche, and you don't want to be that. You want this to catapult you to greater things. So congratulations. Remember to thank all those who've gotten you here, and then take this and make it make use of it to the best of your ability.
Well said.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner O'Grady, for those words. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who was on the call today, to the coaches, to Linda, to the amazing athletes. I want to underscore what Commissioner O'Grady said, like, let this be the launch pad to, bigger, better, greater things, whether it's in sports or going on to do something else. And don't forget to thank your parents and your coaches and everyone who helped you get to where you are today. It is a collaborative effort. Also want to just say that you all have tremendous innate ability and tremendous willpower, discipline, and determination. And as my colleague, Commissioner Boyd, said earlier, those are all the things that you'll need in whatever you do next. And so we will watch for your name in sports headlines in the future. And so we know that you all have a lot to do today, so you're welcome to stay on for the rest of our agenda, but we also know that you might need to go and get back to studies if you're still studying, or it might have wrapped up already. So you feel free to sign off if you want to as well. So next, if we all are ready to move on, if I can get the approval of the minutes for the April 26th, May 3rd, 2022. Thank you, Linda. Have a great day. And the April 21st, 28th, and May 5th briefing sessions.
So move.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Thank you. The minutes have been approved.
Thank you. We are going to go a little bit out of order this morning. We have our wonderful Congresswoman Joyce Beatty with us and some other guests. And we have a resolution that we want to bring before. That's with economic development and planning. And so we will jump to that resolution first. Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam President. Resolution number 38122. Resolution authorizing a COVID-19 recovery grant with the Impact Community Action to support the Otto Beatty Jr. Men's Shop in the amount of $330,766.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Jenny Snap, Chief Operating Officer at Economic Development and Planning. I'm proud to bring forward this resolution today to support the county in its endeavor in providing funding to organizations dedicated to delivering meaningful assistance to Franklin County residents. The Otto Beatty Jr. Men's Shop will help launch much-needed services in the Franklin County community by working with underserved men attempting to recover from the recent economic recession caused by the COVID pandemic. Impact Community Action is part of the 1,100 community action agencies on the front lines of the war on poverty. Impact's primary customers are low-income residents of Franklin County who are at or below the 200% federal poverty level. Job losses from the pandemic overwhelmingly have affected low-wage minority workers the most, and Impact has been at the forefront of helping those most affected by the COVID pandemic. Otto Beatty Jr. was an icon in the community, committed to uplifting those in need, especially men of color. He wholeheartedly believed that dressing in professional attire can change how a person feels about themselves and how they are perceived by others, and this is the mission that the Beatty family wishes to bring to the Otto Beatty Jr. Men's Shop. Otto Beatty Jr. served as the long-term legal counsel to the Columbus Metropolitan Area Community Action Organization, which was Impact's predecessor. It is fitting that the Beatty family thought it was an enormous tribute to donate his sizable collection of professional attire to Impact. The Otto Beatty Jr. Men's Shop will be a partnership between Impact, Nehemiah House of Refuge, and Franklin County to promote the economic independence of disadvantaged men. Impact will also be partnering with Dress for Success, who is focusing on empowering women by offering similar services that will empower residents, mainly focused on men, to break the cycle of poverty and realize their own vision of self-sufficiency. Kevin Berry of Set It Off Barber Styling, Inc. will also provide hair services once the client has completed workforce readiness and moved on to a job interview. The primary goal of this agreement is to engage in actions to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of Franklin County from the effects of coronavirus disease. Impact will serve approximately 300 underserved men a year attempting to recover from the economic recession while providing much-needed wraparound services at the Otto Beatty Jr. Men's Shop. Funding from Franklin County will be used for capital support of the shop, including expenses to the construction of the expansion to support the men's shop. Additional funding will support 1 year of operations for the shop, and long-term sustained operational funding will be supported through the Community Service Block Grant. This agreement is funded from the American Rescue Plan of $2021, and the total cost of the contract is $330,766. Today we have with us Bo Chilton, CEO of Impact Community Action, who will also introduce our esteemed guest. Thank you.
To Commissioners Crawley, Commissioner Boyce, Commissioner O'Grady, let me just say thank you. Thank you for your support and for your leadership. With this legislation, we will be able to help over 300 men annually get back to work. As we know, this pandemic has been devastating, particularly to communities of color, and we want to help with that recovery effort by getting people back to work. I want to say a special thank you to our partner, Terry Byrd from Nehemiah House, who has been a partner with us in outfitting men for the last 5 to 6 years. And now we're able to take this to another level by bringing that service in-house at Impact, where not only will people be able to receive an outfit that will make them feel good, make them feel powerful, but they'll also receive the supportive services to remove employment barriers so that they can get back to work and earn a living wage. I want to say thank you to Congresswoman Beatty for opening her home and making sure that we had the Otto Beatty collection to kick off our Otto Beatty Men's Shop. I cannot tell you what it really means when you put on that suit and knowing the history. I, in fact, have a tie from that collection today. And I can tell you, when I put this tie on and I think about the legacy of the man who wore this tie, somehow I feel a little wiser, I feel a little stronger, and I feel powerful. And I want every man in our community to get that same feeling, and they will when they come to the Otto Beatty Men's Shop. I cannot say enough about the support and the leadership, and I have to give a special thank you to Commissioner Boyce for reaching out and saying this is something that we want to do for our community. One, to honor a great man who had a legacy in our community. I cannot tell you all of the stories that I have heard. Someone has a story about how he has touched their life. One that really stood out was one that Congresswoman Beatty and I shared when we were picking up the suits, and she talked about the gentleman who was formerly incarcerated and was looking to make his mark and get back in and re-enter society and contribute, and wanted to also be an entrepreneur. And so the skill that he had better than anyone else is his ability to shine shoes. And so he talked about the importance of having shine shoes and a certain feeling that you have when you are dressed in a sharp way. And so Mr. Beatty gave him the dollars to start that business. And he asked, well, what can I give you in return? He said, what you can give me is make me your first customer. And he gave him, I guess, about 10 pair of shoes to start. And that gentleman was forever grateful. And the only thing that he asked is that you pay it forward and that we continue to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to feel how I feel when I put on this Otto Beatty Jr. tie. So with that, I thank you. And we have with us representing the family, Congresswoman Beatty. She is here to give support, but I would also offer, if you would like to say any words,
Please.
Give you that opportunity.
To Commissioner Crawley, Boyce, and O'Grady, let me simply say on behalf of Otto Beatty III and Christy, Laurel, and Richard, thank you. Thank you so much, Bo. I remember that day when he came over and I said, I have a few items. I think they were a little overwhelmed when they realized it was hundreds in each. But let me say to you, Commissioner Boyce, thank you for someone who Otto would say he mentored and worked alongside for this vision, and coming to us and saying this would be something not only for the county commissioner, but for young men, especially young Black men, because it makes a difference. As a father, you see that firsthand. As a wife, I simply want to say we were very fortunate in this community to have Otto Beatty, who gave so much and asked so little. And lastly, to Impact, he loved your organization. We grew up in Community Action Agency, where he was not only a lawyer, but every morning he talked to Curtis Brooks about how they could make a difference in the world. And now in your purple tie, you lead the organization and you will do fine. And let me just say, it was my honor to give him that tie for this vision because purple represents power. So I just want to say thank you. The family thanks you, and we will be a big supporter of paving forward. Thank you.
Did any of the other guests want to say a few words, or?
If you don't mind, I would like to invite our partner, Terry Byrd, just to say a few words. He has been a phenomenal partner for us in launching this Otto Beatty Men's Shop. I do want to also thank you to the staff, Jenny Snap, County Administrator Wilson for their part, and to my staff, Carmen Allen, who will be our point person, and Jennifer Wood, our community communications director. But Terry, if there's just a couple of words you'd like to say in support.
Thank you to your commissioner.
Over here.
Yeah, you gotta go to that mic.
I'm a little hoarse a little bit. I was working in the yard yesterday, but I am so thankful just the opportunity to build out to Mr. Otto Beatty's men's shop. We have a great opportunity on hand right as of today to be able to suit up 350 men, sizes from 38 to 52. And I am also wearing something of Mr. Beatty's as well that was given unto me when we went over to Congresswoman's house. Again, I am so thankful and for the opportunity.
I'll open it up to my colleagues at this time for any comments or remarks that they have.
Should I start off here?
Absolutely.
Okay. Come back to me.
Okay.
I need a minute.
Yeah, I can be very brief, and certainly much of the accolade and the credit goes to Commissioner Boyce, and so I want to thank him for all of his hard work to put this together. And certainly, we always love to partner with Impact. We want to say thank you to Congresswoman Beatty and for the legacy of Mr. Beatty. Otto was a wonderful human being. I had the honor and the pleasure of knowing Otto for about 35 years. And, you know, when you have the honor of being the son of a great man like I was, a lot of times, you know, people of Otto's generation would meet me and I was simply Pete O'Grady's kid. And that's a great thing. And I've been privileged to be that for my entire life. But, you know, Otto only ever associated me that way the first time he met me. After that, he treated me as my own person. He treated me with a huge amount of respect. And I had the honor and the privilege of working with him on behalf of the local party and local candidates for the last 10 or 15 years of his life. And, you know, he was just such a great guy to work with, such a wonderful, you know, sage individual. And he will be forever missed. And so that it's wonderful that we, as Franklin County, get to be a part of his legacy going forward. And so I again want to thank Commissioner Boyce for all the hard work that he's put in to make this partnership between the county and Impact and the Beatty family possible. So thank you, and thank you to Congresswoman Beatty for the gift that the family has made here.
Thank you, Commissioner O'Grady, and I'll just say a few remarks, and I'll let Commissioner Boyce put a bow on it. That's okay. I want to say thank you to Congresswoman Beatty for making this gift possible for the men's shop. And you know, we all know when you look good, you feel good. And we know that we are judged by the way that we show up. That's just the society that we live in. And especially for the men who are, like the one gentleman you spoke about, who are reentering society, who's already feeling like they're behind the 8 ball and need a lot of services to just be able to survive. You know, this, and it's just, I mean, a suit, a tie, some shoes, it's everything for them to be able to walk into a room or to interview and feel like they have an opportunity to thrive now, not just survive. And so when we talk about the Rise Together blueprint and moving people out of poverty and removing barriers for individuals who, you know, already have a hard life and was dealt a heavy hand. We talk about those services like access to jobs, access to wraparound services, housing, support, but we don't talk about things like this that make a difference too. And this is just as important as everything else that we do here to help people move up an economic mobility ladder and be able to provide for themselves and their families and look good while doing it and feeling good. And then being able to wear something of someone who, I mean, is just what's a pillar in this community and a stature. Like you said, you feel good, you feel powerful. I can see it all over you. We want that for our residents, our neighbors every single day to feel that way. And for Mr. Beatty, I didn't know him that long. I met him when I was first running for office back in 2017, and every time I saw him, whether it was at you know, something for the party or something in the legislature or something with the Black Caucus, he would always ask me how I'm doing and give me a word of advice to be able to navigate the legislature, where he spent a lot of time, and helped me be able to work across the aisle and find common ground with people. And so you know, I'm excited that I'm able to be a part of this and this resolution to move his legacy forward. I will be grateful for all the words of wisdom that he provided me. And to my colleague, Commissioner Boyce, who is, DCA Bivens calls me the people's champ, but you are the people's champ. And you're always looking for ways to uplift our Black men and women and all of our residents, but you are always looking out, especially for those who are formerly incarcerated and justice involved. And so thank you for your commitment to this resolution, to this men's shop, and all that you do for our neighbors here in the county.
It's rough. All right.
Take your time.
So I've been in politics now for, I don't know, 25 years or so, elected office, and been in for a long time now. And when I was way back in the day when I was a young guy, starting in politics, and I was an aide in the legislature, and Otto was a state rep and had graduated from college, came back to Columbus, and was working for a guy named Jack Ford. And you know, Otto and Ray Miller reached out to me and really put some intimate time into me that it's just hard to reflect on. But there was this men's shop on Allen Creek, and it was they did like custom clothes, and they were kind of like a men's warehouse store. It was right on Allen Creek, and it really had really nice things. And so one day, Otto was in the office, and he was walking through, and we started talking about, you know, the legislature and about my background and different things. And he said, "What are you doing for lunch?" And I said, "You know, what you want to go somewhere?" And so he said, "Yeah, come down to my office and take you somewhere." So I go down to the office, you know, 12 o'clock. And I'm thinking we're just going to lunch, you know, to go get food. And we end up driving to this men's store. And right on Allen Creek, and I can't remember the name of it, but he goes in, and I don't really know what's going on. He didn't like tell me what was going on. He just was like, "Come on," you know. And it was a good conversation on the way over there, you know, talking about different things in the community. He was very much in tune with everything that was going on in the community. And so we get to the store, he goes in, and I'm just thinking I'm along for the ride, then we're gonna get something to eat. And Otto went to this section where his shirt size was. And they had these things, and it would say like, you know, your neck size and then your arm length size. So whatever his was, here was the stack of shirts there. And he goes in there and he literally grabs every shirt on the thing. I mean, it probably was 30 shirts. And he didn't even like look at the colors or the, you know, he just grabbed them and walked right up to the counter. And it was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take all these shirts." And I was just like, "That's how you shop? You just, you know." And he said, "What's your size?" And so I was like, you know, I don't even know. Like, and so the lady comes around, she measures me up and helps, and she takes to my size. He goes to that bin and grabs all of my sizes, puts them in the thing. And I'm telling you, when I tell you he probably bought 60 shirts that day, I'm probably underestimating. And so he bought all these shirts. We get in the car and go back, and he said, "You know, you always got to have a clean shirt. You always got to have a good shirt. And you got to take care of your stuff and rotate it in." And so he bought me like my first, and this is like when I first got to the house. You know, he didn't know me. He didn't have to do that, but he did. And, you know, Otto, I feel like he was a rather quiet person, you know, but he was so deep. You know, when he spoke, he was always right, you know, because he was well studied. And I remember he told me something once. He said, you know, "I think you're going to have a career in politics." And he said, you know, and he wasn't really the advice giver, just kind of off, you know, but I remember what he said to me. He said, you know, "Always do the work." He said, "You know, Kevin, people will, you know, they'll show up and they'll do all this stuff." And he said, but people don't always do the work, like do the study. And back then, they didn't even have term limits. You know, the term limits were just kicking in. And so he had been there for a long time and was thoroughly the expert in several areas. And he said, you know, people don't do the work anymore. They don't dig into the, and he said, so as you get going, always, you know, do your work before you open your mouth. Always know what you're talking about. And that really stuck with me. I haven't always done it, but I think about that often. And, you know, when I think about statistically where black men fall in society, this is the part that really chokes me up and gets to me. You know, black men make up about 6% of the state of Ohio, but almost 50% of our correctional institutions. In nearly every category of quality of life, black men are on the bottom rung, from health to education to employment, and so, you know, this systemic challenge that black men have. And there's one story, I wasn't going to tell this, I would struggle because I knew it would be tough for me to get through this, but it's connected to the statistics. You know, Congresswoman Beatty knows this about me, and maybe some of you do too. You know, my father was murdered when I was 7, and so, you know, statistically, when that happens, I'm statistically subject significantly to other things, all the statistics that I just laid out. And I can honestly say, but for a handful of other black men who invested in me, time in me, confidence, there's no way I'd be here. There's just no way. And I made a list, and I'm not going to read the list. But as I think about it, as I think about that list, and I know, you know, Jack Ford was, you know, Joyce knew Jack Ford well. Jack Ford was a professor of mine in college, and we got to know each other, report the same thing. But it's different when you come back to your own community and somebody pulls you in. And so that's why, because of Otto, and you too, Joyce, you know, I could tell you stories about Joyce too, you know, sitting me down for my first interview that I had for elected office in her office, and challenging me to, you know, you really want to be elected official, tell me why, and you remember that. And I'll close by saying that, you know, what Otto did with me is extend an already substantial legacy that the Beatty family has had on Central Ohio, and more importantly, the legacy that the Beatty family has done for black men in our community. You know, Commissioner Crawley said it well when she was talking about helping folks who come from incarceration or the system. I got that from Otto. You know, I mean, that man was generous. He was just, you know, he did not brag about it. He did not wear it on his sleeve. You just had to know him and be around him to know all that he was doing and willing to do for people. And there was just no end. You know, there was just no end to it. And the final point I say about Otto is, what people don't know about me is I have a business life. But I learned how to be a businessman from watching Otto, you know. And even to this day, we're in the same, our business offices are in the same office over at 175. And so I would see him, and we would just spend time, probably way too much time, talking, but about business. And, you know, I can remember when he was treasurer of the caucus and I was the chief staff, and I go meet with him at his office, and he had a wall full of keys of all the properties that he had invested in. But he would spend time talking to me about what it meant, and to be a businessman. And I would have never been exposed to that. And none of my other mentors, he's the only one that I learned that part of it from. And so, you know, as I think of what defines this opportunity at Impact, and you know, I think of a person who was trusted, respected, appreciated, and most importantly loved in a way that has changed and will forever continue to change and build Central Ohio. And Congresswoman Beatty, and to the Beatty family, you have my word that I will live up to that legacy. And I will invest myself in it. My children will represent that, and I promise that that legacy will continue to be great in all of us. And so I didn't get a tie, and I'm a little thrown off by that. Everybody's got on, their apparel, but at the same time, I know that there will be some young man that walks in there and will put that tie on or put that suit on, and it will create a confidence and an opportunity that will change this narrative that we're all so devastated by with Black men. So to that, thank you for your work. And by the way, when I called Bo, he didn't even hesitate. He didn't blink. Before I could even finish the ask, he was like, I'm in, let's do it. What do you need from me? Let's get this thing going. Yeah. And I handed it to him, and he took off with it. And it was, he showed up months later like, okay, we're done, ready. So congratulations. Thank you for understanding the meaning of this type of investment and what it more importantly does to the people who walk through those doors. So I'm looking forward to what I think is going to be a great resource for this community. So God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to EEP. Thank you, Jenny, for getting this resolution to where it is today. Thank you to Nehemiah House as well for your partnership and collaboration. And so with that, if I can get a motion, there's no additional questions or comments.
So move to pass resolution
381-22.
381-22. Move to pass or to adopt resolution 381-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Boyce,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady,
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 381-22 has been adopted.
Oh, want to take a picture?
Yes.
In the bathroom. I get that toothpaste.
Safe travels. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. All right. So we are going to go back to the top of the agenda. I appreciate everyone and their flexibility, but also executive privilege. So we will go to the clerk of court.
Resolution number 367-22. Resolution authorizing a services contract and statement of work with Telenetics Incorporated for professional services related to the conversion of document image files to the new Odyssey court case management system in the amount of $55,770.
Good morning, Commissioners. Adam Lukout on behalf of Clerk of Courts Mary Ellen Odyssey. This resolution authorizes a services contract and statement of work with Telenetics Incorporated for professional services related to the conversion of document image files for the new Odyssey court case management system. Currently, the images in our document management system are stored as single-page TIFF files, and Telenetics will create software to combine these files into multi-page PDF files and extract the relevant metadata, which is the data that associates the PDF to the case, party, document type, and in fact is not to exceed $55,770. This is a 3-year agreement which will enable the contract to be active through all 3 Tyler Go Live events. Pending any questions, I request approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of Resolution 367-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 36722 has been adopted. Resolution number 36822. Resolution authorizing a services contract and SaaS agreement with Quicket Solutions Incorporated for professional services and cloud hosting software for the purpose of creating data integrations between the Odyssey Court Case Management System and other county justice systems in the amount of $1,548,326.
This resolution authorizes a service contract and the software as a service agreement with Quicket Solutions for professional services and cloud-hosted software for the purposes of creating data integrations between the Odyssey Court Case Management System and other county justice systems. These agreements fulfill one of the primary purposes of implementing the new court case management system, and that is the integration with other county justice systems, such as, but not limited to, the Sheriff's Jail Management System, the Public Defender's Case Management System, the Prosecutor's Case Management, Adult Probation System, and the Justice Information System for timely reporting and more accurate data collection and data exchanges between county justice systems, and ultimately move the county toward an integrated county justice information system, also known as CJIS. These agreements are not to exceed $1,548,326. Pending any questions, I request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 368-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 36822 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next, we have the auditor.
Resolution number 36922. Resolution authorizing a 1-year contract with Woolport Incorporated for orthographic aerial current agricultural use, valuation, photography, and building outline updates utilizing non-general funds in the amount of $336,803.65.
Good morning, Commissioners. Trent Weaver, Staff Counsel for Auditor Michael Stinziano. With me today is Matt Shade, our GIS Division Supervisor, as well as Monica Moran, our Deputy Chief of Staff for External Engagement. Our first resolution this morning seeks to enter into contract with Woolport Inc. for the provision of current agricultural use valuation, CAUV, aerial photography, aerial LiDAR data, and an update to our building outlines. The Auditor's Office, as you know, is required to annually view each parcel on the CAUV program to ensure compliance. While the office does send appraisers out into the field, using aerial orthographic photography to supplement the field work is an important element of that effort. Aerial CAUV photography with associated remote sensing allows the office to save costs on the office's annual appraisal duties by allowing appraisers to see those parcels in the CAUV program and chart the land use and specific crop types from the office, which saves the county taxpayer dollars that would otherwise need to be spent, to send appraisers around the county. Additionally, the City of Columbus had Department of Public Utilities had previously funded a countywide buy-up through the statewide OSIP program for 3-inch imagery and LiDAR elevation data. The auditor's office utilized this data to create new, accurately drawn building outlines for every structure over 100 square feet in the county. In order to keep this data accurate and up to date, the auditor's office proposes to collect new LiDAR elevation data and to update the existing building outlines. This update modifies outlines as well as captures changes in the height of structures, making it possible to detect changes to be used as an input to provide fair and equitable appraisal of real estate. Again, I want to echo my thanks to Madam Clerk for her assistance, as well as thanks to Mr. Shade, the Prosecutor's Office, and the Purchasing Department for their efforts as well. Pending any questions, we recommend passage of this resolution. Thank you very much.
Is there a motion to have this approved?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Resolution number 369-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 370-22. Resolution authorizing an amendment to the contract with Hoover Blanket Incorporated, doing business as Main Street Computing, for the provision of dog licensing software.
Good morning. I'm Monica Moran, Deputy Chief of Staff of External Engagement for Auditor Michael Cinziano. Our resolution this morning seeks to amend the contract previously authorized by the Board of Commissioners with Hoover Blanket, doing business as Main Street Computing, MSC, for the implementation of a new dog licensing software system. In May of 2020, following the opening of sealed proposals and on behalf of the Auditor's Office, the county entered into a contract with MSC via resolution number 0507-20. Subsequently, in January 2021, the commissioners who all amended the contract with MSC via resolution number 0019-21, despite reasonable efforts, failed to launch the dog licensing system by December 1, 2020, as contractually agreed to. In addition, there are some unresolved technical issues and ongoing concerns about the efficiency and user friendliness of the dog registration system. And we have a mutual desire of the parties to have more flexibility to potentially end the agreement earlier than the original term, while still maintaining a system and mechanism to license dogs and meet our statutory obligation. So we are seeking, this amendment will allow the parties to continue operation of our system until a new one is in place. Pending any questions, we recommend passage of this resolution. Thank you very much.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 370-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 370-22 has been adopted.
Thank you. Next, we have the engineer.
Resolution number 371-22. Resolution adopting the Franklin County Engineers Annual Review and Amendment of the 10-year Capital Improvement Program for Roads and Bridges.
Good morning, Commissioners, County Administration. My name is Fritz Crozier, Chief Deputy of Engineering for County Engineer Cornell Robertson. As mentioned, our first resolution is an annual resolution which seeks to amend the Franklin County Engineers 10-year CIP for roads and bridges for the year 2022. The engineers evaluated the roads and bridges and updated our 10-year capital improvement program based on the urgent need and necessity for projects. 9 projects were completed in 2021, including Bixby Road 3.45 over Holton Ditch, Boer Road 0.11 over a tributary of Strader Ditch, Harper Road, Highland Avenue, Valley View Drive, and Eureka Avenue, Hoover Road 2.04 over a tributary to Grant Run, Olentangy River Road 10.08 over Turkey Run, Ormond Avenue Drainage Improvement Projects Phase 2, Refugee Road over Big Walnut Creek, Smothers Road at Harlem Road Detention Pond, and Toy Road area improvements. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 371-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 371-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 372-22. Research International Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer with General Engineering Services, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $100,000.
Commissioners, as noted, this resolution seeks approval of a contract with Resource International to assist the Franklin County Engineer with general engineering services. First task order identified for this contract is to assist the engineer's office with drainage improvements along Darby Creek Drive, south of West Broad Street in western Franklin County. Resource International is a certified MBE and DBE local engineering firm and was chosen via the engineer's qualifications-based selection process. Pending any questions, I would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 372-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 372-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 373-22. Resolution requesting the Ohio Department of Transportation to reduce the speed limit on Darling Road, Township Road number 200, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
This resolution seeks authorization to request the Ohio Department of Transportation to investigate the speed limit on Darling Road in Jefferson Township from Havens Road to Clark State Road. ODOT will review Franklin County's study and determine a safe speed limit. The county engineers received multiple requests from residents as well as the township to study the speed limit on this road. A study was conducted by Franklin County and it was determined that a speed limit reduction from 35 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour would be appropriate. Pending any questions, I would ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 373-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 373-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 374-22. Resolution requesting the Ohio Department of Transportation to reduce the speed limit on a portion of Peter Hoover Road, County Road number 193, Plain Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
This resolution also seeks authorization to request the Ohio Department of Transportation to investigate the speed limit on Peter Hoover Road in Plain Township from Walnut Street to the Franklin County, Delaware County line. ODOT will review the study and determine a safe speed limit. The engineer received a request from a resident to study the speed limit on this road. The study was conducted by Franklin County and it was determined that a speed limit reduction from 55 miles per hour to 45 miles per hour would be appropriate. Any questions, I would ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 374-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 374-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 375-22. Resolution requesting the Ohio Department of Transportation to reduce the speed limit on Rovilla Road, Township Road number 201, Jefferson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
Commissioners, our final resolution also seeks authorization for a investigation by the Ohio Department of Transportation for a reduction in speed on Rovilla Road in Jefferson Township from Darling Road to Reynoldsburg Road. ODOT will review Franklin County's study and determine a safe speed limit. The engineer received multiple requests from residents as well as the township to study the speed limit on this roadway. A study was conducted by the engineer's office and it was determined that a speed limit reduction from 40 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour would be appropriate. Pending any questions, I would ask for the board's approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 374-22.
Excuse me, Commissioner, it's 375-22.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm the wrong one. 375-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 375-22 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Next up, we have Emergency Management Agency.
Resolution number 376-22. Resolution authorizing a non-general fund supplemental appropriation in support of the Medical Reserve Corps.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Jeff Young, representing Franklin County Emergency Management and Homeland Security. This resolution is for a supplemental appropriation to support the Columbus and Central Ohio Medical Reserve Corps managed by our agency under an agreement with both Franklin County Public Health as well as Columbus Public Health. The supplemental appropriation is necessary due to the recent awarding of a $10,000 award from the National Association of County and City Health Officials and was not included in our previously approved budget. The award will support training initiatives in the areas of disaster medical operations, points of dispensing, and family assistance centers, to mention just a few. I'll gladly answer any questions and ask for your approval of this resolution.
Sorry, I turned my page. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 376-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 376-22 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Community partnerships.
Resolution number 377-22. Resolution authorizing community partnerships grant agreement with Central Ohio Workers Center for calendar year 2022 in the amount of $300,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. I'm Curtis Brown, Community Partnerships Coordinator. This resolution is for Community Partners Central Ohio Worker Center totaling $300,000. The Central Ohio Worker Center educates, empowers, and advocates for and with low-wage and immigrant workers. They seek to diversify and expand their outreach efforts through increased coordination with trusted community partners in Franklin County communities where low-wage and immigrant workers live and work. If there are no questions or comments, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 377-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 377-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 378-22. Resolution authorizing community partnership grant agreements with various health equity partners for calendar year 2022 in the amount of $1,397,989.
This resolution is regarding our community partnerships health equity partners totaling $1,397,989. Organizations include Cancer Support Community of Central Ohio, Charitable Pharmacy of Central Ohio, Children's Hunger Alliance, Physicians Care Connection, Primary One Health, and Mobile Disability Resource Center. These organizations will be addressing several topics such as children at risk for food insecurity, helping pregnant women gain access to high-quality prenatal care, and providing skills training for people newly diagnosed with life-changing conditions such as vision or hearing loss, loss of limbs, or people recovering from a stroke. Joining us this morning online is Bev Solt, who is the President and CEO of Cancer Support Community of Central Ohio. She will be discussing how this funding has been helpful to her organization. After her remarks, if there are no questions or comments, I respectfully ask for the approval of this resolution. And Bev, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Curtis. Commissioners, wow, what an emotional start to our morning. And Commissioner Crawley, I think you're right. The privilege of sitting here and the honor of being a partner, thank you with all of our hearts. I want to thank you not only for your support for Cancer Support Community, but for the leadership that you bring to Franklin County. As a resident, it is with heart that I thank you. Cancer Support Community is the only organization in the country that has a dedicated research institute that focuses on the emotional side of cancer. Every cancer is unique, and their support should be too. When you hear the words, "you have cancer," it impacts the entire family, and why our programs are for caregivers, family members, and friends. And everything we do is at no cost. No one should ever have to decide between taking care of themselves and taking care of cancer. With our partnership, you help us provide more than 75 monthly programs of support and education, screenings, customized care plans, and all the essential tools and resources to anyone impacted by cancer. This year, we are so pleased to be one of 6 health equity partners.
We've hired a health equity manager, and thanks to your funding, we will be focusing on underserved and low-income neighborhoods to identify cancer-related needs and actually hear and share their voices to provide the essential programs and resources that they need. So on behalf of those, all that we serve, and to each of you, thank you for your continued support.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 378-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 378-22 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Take
Next,
care.
we have economic development and planning.
Resolution number 379-22. Resolution responding to the April 22nd, 2022 notice received concerning the proposed creation of 2 tax increment financing districts in the city of Obetz.
Good morning, President Crawley, Commissioners, and Administrators. My name is Emmanuel Torres, Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning. And this first resolution is, as mentioned moments ago, in response to the formal notice received from the City of Obetz on April 22nd, 2022, which proposes the creation of 2 tax increment financing incentive districts to support the construction of 2 new residential development projects in the City of Obetz, consisting of a total of approximately 679 new single-family residential units. The TIF districts under the Ohio Revised Code would capture and redirect taxes from the incremental increase in value of parcels in the districts to fund public improvements. As proposed, the incentive districts would each have a term of 30 years, and the percentage of the improvements exempted from taxation would be 100%. Additionally, last night, the City of Obetz, during their City Council meeting, passed an ordinance to designate a community reinvestment area on the same parcels covered by the TIF districts. This CRA will provide the real property tax exemptions for 15 years, 100% of the value of the commercial and or industrial structures and eligible that are eligible site improvements to be developed within that CRA. I would like to note that the TIF exemption will be subordinate to any exemptions granted under that CRA. The county recognizes that TIF districts with residential components place a strain on various social service levy agencies in Franklin County as revenue is redirected and does not recognize potential service increases. Ohio Revised Code provides the Franklin County Board of Commissioners the ability to accept or object to TIF proposals within 30 days of receipt of notice from the municipality. If the commissioners accept or take no action within 30 days, the TIF district will become effective at the terms and rates set in the proposal. The commissioners may also object to TIF proposals with terms of more than 10 years or where the percentage of the improvements exempted from taxation exceeds 75%. The Agency of Economic Development and Planning recommends objecting to the City of Obetz to proposed 100% 30-year residential TIF districts and seeks to establish a compensation agreement to compensate the social services levy agencies. If no compensation agreement is reached, the ORC provides the county a default rate of compensation of not more than 50% of the taxes that would be payable to the county for years 11 through 30. My apologies. Pending any questions, I will respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
Okay, I'm confused. Wait a minute. So you said respectfully request approval, but you mean we're voting no?
You will, like,
We're voting to vote. We're voting to approve.
To object.
The objection. So it's
correct.
Let me make sure I get that right. right, Amy? Okay, yeah, okay. So yes, but it's a no, really.
It's really a no, yes, Commissioner. Director Jim Schimmer from Economic Development and Planning. This is one of those situations that is a little unusual in that sense, but yes, you're voting no.
We're voting yes, but the yes means no.
But the yes means no.
Correct.
Yes.
So it got a little confusing there. Okay. If there are no comments or questions, additional comments or questions, move for adoption of 379-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 379-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 380-22. Resolution authorizing an economic development agreement with One Columbus to conduct economic development activities on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners in the amount of $1 million.
Commissioners, this next resolution is to authorize the 2022 annual partner contract agreement for the amount of $1 million between Franklin County and One Columbus to conduct economic development activities on behalf of Franklin County. One Columbus is a regional economic development organization that conducts business outreach to existing economic-based companies, markets the Columbus region to growing companies worldwide, creates customized research to better understand the Columbus region's competitiveness, and makes strategic economic development investments by leveraging public, private, and institutional partnerships. During the 2021 grant program year, One Columbus was able to accomplish 40 project announcements, 4,810 committed new jobs with an equivalent payroll of $298 million, and an additional $323 million in fixed capital investments. Lastly, they were able to retain 7,430 jobs in Franklin County. As part of this agreement for 2022, One Columbus will continue to and expand business outreach through an aggressive business retention and expansion program, promote and facilitate entrepreneurship and minority business financing through the creation of the Freedom Equity Community Development Finance Institution, and generate economic opportunity for Franklin County. Joining us virtually today from One Columbus, we have Sean Grant, the Chief Financial Officer, and Justin Bickle, Managing Director of Project Management, should there be any inquiries in respect to the great work being done at One Columbus. Pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
Are there any comments or questions? Move for adoption of 380-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 380-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 382-22. Review of petition to annex 0.45 acres more or less from Clinton Township to the City of Columbus, case number Annex-19-22.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, my name is Jenny Snap, Chief Operating Officer at Economic Development and Planning. This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 0.45 acres from Clinton Township to the City of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes property located at Chambers Road, that's one parcel, north of Chambers Road, west of Kenny Road, south of Kinnear Road, and east of Northwest Boulevard. Petition was filed by agent and attorney David Hodge of Underhill and Hodge, who is in attendance online should you have any questions, on behalf of the owner Evan David. 86.3% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Columbus, and the city passed ordinance number 1063-2022 on April 18th, 2022, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved, in a statement regarding incompatible land uses and the zoning buffer. Petition meets all the statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, I would request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 382-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Resolution number 38222 has been adopted. Resolution number 38322. Review of petition to annex 26.779 acres more or less from Prairie Township to the City of Columbus, case number ANX-20-22.
This resolution is to consider an expedited Type 2 annexation petition of 26.779 acres from Prairie Township to the City of Columbus. The area to be annexed includes property located at Trayview Road, that's one parcel, south of Trayview Road, east of Walcott Road, north of Interstate 270, and north of Interstate 70 and west of Interstate 270. Petition was filed by agent and attorney Craig Moncrief of Plank Law Firm. He is in attendance in person here if you have any questions. On behalf of the owner, Norfolk Southern Railway Company, formerly known as Pennsylvania Lines, LLC. 58% of the site's perimeter is contiguous with Columbus, and the city passed ordinance number 1064-2022 on April 18th, 2022, indicating the services that will be provided once the annexation is approved and a statement regarding incompatible land uses and the zoning buffer. The petition meets all the statutory requirements outlined in section 709.021 of the Ohio Revised Code, and pending any questions, I would request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 383-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 38322 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too.
Thanks. Next, Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 38422. Resolution authorizing non-general fund supplemental appropriations for social services contracts.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Assistant Director. The appropriations will support ready-to-earn summer youth employment programming, various contracts utilizing American Rescue Plan Act and general fund dollars, that were not anticipated in federal fiscal year 2022, and additional funding to address other community needs. The agency has sufficient resources to support this allocation after receiving over $5.7 million in additional allocations and revenues that were not originally anticipated in the budget. Additionally, our 2022 cash balance was higher than what we anticipated and now has approximately $8.8 million in unappropriated cash. We are currently finalizing our contracts for summer programs. Following that, we will begin reviewing current and projected spending on all existing contracts, as well as projections for our federal fiscal year 23 contracts to determine if any further budget adjustments may be needed. And pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 384-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 38422 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Have a great day. Next, Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 38522. Resolution authorizing a consultant contract with Relentless Effort LLC for the purpose of conducting interviews, focus groups, and expert analysis of the data collected in connection with the Blueprint for Safety Initiative in the amount of $19,013.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melissa Pure, Chief Operating Officer with the Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs. Commissioners, Franklin County, in collaboration with the Columbus City Attorney's Office and a range of other partners, applied for and received an FY 2020 Improving Criminal Justice Responses to Domestic Violence grant from the Office on Violence Against Women to support the launch of the Blueprint to Safety Initiative, which reviews and integrates best practices to our domestic violence response across the continuum. Relentless Effort, if authorized, will be conducting a series of interviews and focus groups with survivors, the courts, prosecution, law enforcement, community corrections, and victim service agencies. From these discussions and the feedback, the contractor will provide an analysis of our current systems and suggestions for enhancing current practice. The contract is in the amount of $19,013, and we anticipate the project will be completed by the end of the fiscal year.
Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 385-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 385-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 386-22. Resolution authorizing a professional services contract with Zachary Ruppel for the purpose of providing data collection, analysis, and research services through the FY 2022 Targeted Community Alternatives to Prison Grant Program in the amount of $15,000.
Commissioners, as you know, our office is committed to being a data-driven organization, and our quest to provide first-rate grants administration, support system-wide information sharing, and responsive solutions that still embrace innovation. Mr. Ruppel has been on contract with our office for several years now as our data analyst and has proven himself to be a tremendous asset to the team as it relates to data collection, analysis, and presentation. This contract is in the amount of $15,000 and will be supported through the Targeted Community Alternatives to Prison Grant Program. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval of this contract.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 386-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 386-22 has been adopted. Resolution number 387-22. Resolution authorizing receipt of the 2022 Fentanyl Test Strip Opportunity Award from Franklin County Public Health to expand harm reduction education and strengthen capacity to implement harm reduction activities, and the authorization of the President of the Board of Commissioners to sign all acceptance documents related to the program.
Commissioners, as you know all too well, Franklin County, like many counties across the country, are still grappling with an overdose epidemic. We're very fortunate to have partners like Franklin County Public Health on the front lines, seeking out opportunities to increase our harm reduction efforts. This resolution requests your approval for our office to accept a 2022 Fentanyl Test Strip Opportunity Award to the Board of Health's Data to Action Initiative, and will support the purchase and distribution of 10,000 fentanyl test strips through our Rapid Resource Center, which will operate at the Jackson Pike Jail, and will be operating at the second jail site, the Safer Stations program on the west side, and the Hope Resource Center, which is also located on the west side of Columbus. These programs currently distribute naloxone kits, so the addition of fentanyl test strips to the toolbox kit is a welcome addition to our efforts. Pending any questions, we would ask for your approval authorizing Commissioner Crawley to accept this award and sign all related documents.
He sat there laughing at you.
Somebody was getting yelled
Commissioner
at
O'Grady,
right
I
now.
apologize.
Somebody,
Yeah, my son just came in singing, so
somebody was getting yelled at.
had to remind him that we were on camera.
I know the song though. Yeah.
He's happy and chipper today.
Right. If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 387-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 387-22 has been adopted.
Thanks so much, Commissioners.
Absolutely. Have a great day. Next, we have sanitary engineers.
Resolution number 388-22. Resolution authorizing a third modification to the contract with American Structure Point Incorporated for additional funds for the Century Acres Wastewater Treatment Plant Upgrades Project, an increase of $6,000 in the amount of $511,263.48.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. Sanitary Engineer is requesting a third contract modification with American Structure Point to cover any possible runover caused by permit to install fees that are not known at the time when the scope was set up in the fee. They are only known once we have an estimate on the project and move forward with paying those to EPA when it comes time for review.
We're requesting an additional $6,000 to cover any outstanding and future invoices. And the $6,000 will be provided from the $5 million provided to the Department of Sanitary Engineering. Providing any questions or comments, I respect the passage of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 388-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 388-22 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one. Next, purchasing.
Resolution number 389-22. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $1,451,124.44.
Good morning, Commissioners. Excuse me, Megan Perry Valinier, Director of Purchasing. Joining me this morning is Marlise Ryan, Economic Equity Administrator in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval of 75 purchase orders for which the County Auditor has pre-certified available funding. And Marlise has the supplier diversity data for this week. Good morning, Marlise.
Good morning. Again, good morning, Commissioners. We have for your approval today 8 purchase orders presented to award to 1 small and emerging business, 3 women in business enterprise, and 4 minority business enterprise, totaling $54,684.72. The following agencies have provided equitable inclusion to small businesses: the Court of Common Pleas, Job and Family Services, and Public Facilities Management.
Thank you, Marlise. Pending any questions, Commissioners, we request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for adoption of 389-22.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Second.
Thank you. Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Boyce?
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady?
Yes.
Commissioner Crawley?
Yes.
Resolution number 389-22 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. And I just want to note, since we were recognizing student athletes, and I hope Commissioner O'Grady doesn't mind that I share this, that his daughter Erin just won the Archie Griffin Sportsmanship Award for top female student athlete at her school. So I want to say congratulations to her for all of her hard work.
Thank you.
She clearly got that from Pam, that a personality trait from Pam, but I could, in my experiences with her, I could see why she would get that. She's just an outstanding young lady in every sense of the word, and her athletic ability is just really a side note to who she is as a young person. So even though she's great at all of that stuff, so congratulations.
Well, I would tell you, not to brag too much about Aaron, but the actual award, the Archie Griffin Sportsmanship Award, is a really cool award, and it's given out at schools all over Central Ohio. It's an annual thing that kids receive throughout Central Ohio, and it really does, embody the spirit of Archie Griffin in that it's kids that are multiple sport athletes that are good athletes, but it's also about kids who are good students. You have to have a decent academic standing, but it's also really and truly about kids that are good sportsmen. She had to write an essay about being what sportsmanship was all about, and then she had to be interviewed by the faculty at the school. And there were a multitude of nominees, both girls and boys. They chose a male athlete and a female athlete, but they had to go. These kids, and there were a lot of kids that went through this, and all of the kids that were nominated are going to be recognized by the Optimist Club in Hilliard, and I think they do this throughout Central Ohio. I know that this is done in other school districts and in Columbus as well, and so it's a testament to Archie Griffin, but it's a testament to recognizing kids not just for being good students, not just for being good athletes, but also for being good sportsmen. So we were very proud. Thank you, Commissioner, for pointing it out, and thank you, Commissioner Boyce, for the kind comments as well.
Absolutely.
She's a good kid.
She is.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any journalizations?
We do
today?
not.
Okay. Are there any members of the media who have questions? All right, hearing none, that concludes our business for today. Everyone have a happy Tuesday.